On this episode of Bet Back and Beyond, Andy and I and Robbie are going to be talking football.
Baseball,
specifically Week 8. We'll recap all of Week 8 in the NFL.
But
then
baseball.
Then we'll preview Week 9. And then we're actually going to talk about Dune this time.
Ian, but baseball.
And because last time you guys put Dune in the title, but we really didn't talk about Dune. We talked about Dune.
You say you guys. Robbie had nothing to do with that.
I was just about to say, for the record, I only do the visuals. I don't have anything to do with titling.
I'm pointing fingers at all of you. There's no one who doesn't deserve my fingering right now, and I'm blaming all of you for Dune in the title when we didn't really talk about Dune, but we're going to talk about Dune this week. We're going to talk about Dune this week.
It's funny. I did put Dune in the title. You know what? We'll get into it. You're not going to want to miss it.
That's all we're going to talk about, right?
And baseball.
That's all we're going to talk about.
Go!
3, 2, 1, go. I am Ian Peacock.
And I am Andy Heidemann. And I hate sports betting.
No matter what you say, I'm betting 100 on it tonight.
Welcome to Bet Bath and Beyond.
Brought to you by B3TSports.com. You can check us out on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. If you want a shot at a free NFL jersey from the B3T Sports crew, check out B3TSports.com/contest. We just had our October winner. Yes, sir.
Who won October?
Evan Meester won October. Him. It's funny, we do. He listens to every episode. He listens to
does he really?
Both. He does. He listens to both podcasts. He's subscribed.
Oh, well, he deserves it then.
Absolutely. It. Yeah, no, this wasn't like I sent it to a group of friends and was like, "Hey, fill it out." This is a guy who he went and he watched all the videos.
Thanks,
but he is getting a green Devontae Adams jersey. He's a Packers fan.
Do we sign it for him? Surely we
don't sign. That would that would destroy the value.
You've won a free signed jersey from the Bath Boys.
You know, it is funny. We're gonna talk baseball for 10 seconds, just so it's done.
I'm joking. I actually watched every game. I watched every game this World Series, so I am prepared to talk World Series baseball.
The Braves win it.
There we go. That's it.
And that's it. That's
4-2. They win 4-2, and that's it.
And I'm glad baseball is over because, something I didn't even really think about. It's always secondary to us anyway. But basketball did start. The NBA is going on.
I don't care.
I know you don't care. I know you don't care, but I'm going to care, and I'm going to make us talk about it every week. Starting next week, because I don't have anything prepared.
Andrew, can we just wait until football is over, and then we can talk basketball?
Well, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Is anyone
sometimes
genuine
cool stuff
question,
happens?
Genuine question. Does anyone actually watch NBA while football is going on?
I would actually like to see those numbers.
Robbie, put Robbie in his picture in just for that thumbs down that he
just the thumbs down. Not even like the video, just a very crunchy 480p image of him with his thumb down.
Dude, I don't really listen. I listen to our podcasts all the time, okay? I listen to our podcasts every week because I want to know how we do as a listener, right? But I don't really watch us, right? I don't watch us because for some reason I get cringy watching myself.
Sure.
I guess, that's kind of relatable. I watched last episode. My eyes dart all around the room. Like, literally,
I don't know what you're
I'll
reading.
I'll look over there while I'm talking, and it drives me crazy. So this entire podcast, I'm going to focus on looking at you and looking at Robbie and looking at the screen. And I don't want to be darting all. I don't want to be darting all around. I like
the idea that you took like a little sticky note and you took a red Sharpie, you put a dot on it, and then you stuck it to the middle of your screen and just I'm staring.
Not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea.
No, I think you're right. I am curious to see. I would love to see that split of people who are actually watching the NBA when NFL the season is going. I mean, there are strictly NBA fans, obviously, but
no, there aren't.
I like the NBA, but I don't like it more than the NFL. That's insane.
No, there are not just strictly NBA fans.
There
are people, there are sports fans, and sports fans will watch football over basketball. And then when the NFL season ends, then they're like, okay, now I can watch basketball.
You're not a college football person. I mean, you like college football, but you're not like a diehard college football fan, right?
I'm not a diehard. I'll watch the Gamecocks when they're on.
College football or the NBA?
College football. Because I actually do watch
I'm college football as well.
Because I actually do watch college football from time to time, depending on the matchups. Like I'll watch Notre Dame. Obviously, you're a big Notre Dame fan.
I'm a big Notre Dame fan. Dude, by the way,
Robbie's shaking his head, dude. You're allowing that on your podcast, Andy. Our producer Robbie's shaking his head at you.
Listen, he has to deal with God when he's talking about Notre Dame. That's not on me. That's between him and the big man.
In the face of God, Robbie.
So it's funny. So Iowa was doing really well in college football.
Are they not anymore?
God, no, they're doing terribly. They've lost their last 2 matchups, and they were all. Well, what I wanted to bring up was they were on their hot streak and they were ranked number 2 or 3 in the nation, something like that.
Yeah, they were high up.
And I tweeted the day after it happened. I'm like, no one get attached to this for your own well-being. I'm telling you now, like I've seen this over and over. I'm like, they are not good. Their coaching is bad. Blah blah blah. 6 days later, they lose. They get upset.
Who they lose to?
Purdue.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
And then they lost to Wisconsin. I mean, my tweet literally said,
Wisconsin's a good team.
They're usually good in the Big Ten. I'm just saying that like you can't go, oh, we're one of the best in the nation, lose to Purdue, and then lose again like twice in a row, regardless of who it's to. It's
sure.
The tweet specifically said they're going to lose to somebody they have no business losing to, and I can't wait for it. and
it was Purdue.
Although Notre Dame lost to Cincinnati. Although I think Cincinnati's ranked like
Cincinnati's
5
pretty good,
or something like that.
I think Cincinnati's pretty good.
But that's a perfect segue, football, into our actual topic.
Hold on, explain to me how that was a perfect segue. I want to hear you explain. But okay,
it exists.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, what do you?
No, you're right. I'm wrong. You're right, Andrew.
Thank you. Can we sound clip
Yes,
that?
let's talk football. But I mean, do we have to start with last Thursday's game? God,
actually, that was an interesting game. It was a good game. It shouldn't have been by the Cardinals.
Why shouldn't that have been a good game? You've got 2 good teams playing.
Well, the Packers had their top 3 wide receivers out due to injury and COVID.
True, but they have one of the most athletic quarterbacks in position. Sure. Okay, Aaron Rodgers, who isn't playing this week. I guess we'll talk about that in our Week 9. We'll talk about that in our Week 9 preview. But guess who I had no wide receivers this week because all my wide receivers are either a Raider, a Ravens, or someone else that isn't good. Okay.
Or another bad wide receiver.
Right. And so I had to pick somebody up off the waivers this week. Who do you think I went with? Hint, he's on the Packers.
This week you picked up Alan Lazard.
This was last week.
You picked up Alan Lazard last week, and then then I bet they were like, yeah, he's not playing.
But then guess who I picked up?
Randall Cobb.
Yes.
Yeah, and Randall Cobb.
2 touchdowns.
Yes, sir. Dude, it sucks about Robert Tonyan. I don't have that in the notes here, but he tore his ACL. He's going to be out for the season.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he went down hard. Like he caught it on the turf, and when he went down he made an awesome catch. It was like 43 yards, and then he left the game, and then tore his ACL. And that really sucks because for fantasy,
who's going to be starting? Yeah. So give us some fantasy.
Mercedes Lewis, I guess. Now, the trade deadline just passed. The trades will not be happening in the NFL anymore this season. They can't. So people were thinking that the Packers were going to maybe try to grab Evan Engram from the Giants. That didn't happen. Mercedes Lewis is kind of their only option there at tight end. I don't think that it's going to matter a whole lot. I honestly just think it means more uptick for Lazard, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and obviously Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I was going to say Randall Cobb, I dropped him immediately after this week. It was a one-and-done situation. We can get to it later, but I actually completed a big trade, not in our dynasty, but in my other fantasy league, to get Jamar Chase.
Yeah, and
other wide receiver.
I like that. Is that a keeper league or is that just a redraft?
It's a redraft league.
I mean,
but
I like it either way. But
I have Metcalf. Metcalf's my number one, my wide receiver one, DK Metcalf. I
mean
needed
your
a wide.
two?
What do you? Well, yeah, now. But he was my wide receiver one, and then I would put in Hollywood Brown, who's been solid.
Yeah.
Despite his drops this season, he's been solid. And then I also have Hunter Renfrow, who's a good flex, but he's not a wide receiver.
He's gonna be better now though. Like we haven't talked about that, but have you heard the Henry Ruggs news?
Yes. Wait, is he out?
He's been dropped. Henry Ruggs has been dropped by the
they cut him?
the Raiders. Yeah, they absolutely. Well, did you? I mean, maybe you know what I'm talking about?
I am not now. Wait. Is it off the field stuff?
Yes. Oh, I mean, he's probably going to prison.
Nuh-uh.
He got breaking news for anyone who hasn't heard this yet.
Where have I put this in the title? Put this in the title.
Yeah.
To draw people in. I didn't know this.
Henry Ruggs was
Robbie, can you make a note? Put this in.
Here, listen to me. Henry Ruggs
I will not listen to you, Andrew. I do not want to listen.
Traveling at 156 miles an hour in Vegas and got into a crash. He was twice the legal drinking limit, and some lady died. And he is being charged with I don't know if it's considered homicide. It's death due to something like death due to negligence. I'll find out the actual title, but he's obviously he's been dropped by the Raiders. He just had his mugshot. Like he's probably going to prison.
Holy shit! He killed somebody.
Yeah, and their dog, I think.
How have I not heard about this?
I don't know how you haven't heard about this, but I mean,
okay. So I have been traveling this weekend.
That's true. I knew
I've been traveling a lot, but still, I feel like I should have heard this. I have not. I'm on Twitter a good bit too. I'm surprised, but you know what else? Surprisingly, I haven't been listening to my usual podcast, like Part of My Take and Dan Patrick, because I've been listening to the audiobook of
the Dune audiobook.
I saw it earlier this week, and I had to finish it before I saw the movie, and I didn't finish it, but that's okay because Dune is split into the movie is split into parts, so it's all good. We'll talk about it at the end of the show. And we'll get into your background because your background's obviously Dune and not Lord of the Rings. Not Lord of the Rings. I don't know who would think that.
But strictly fantasy speak, because I'm not going to even begin to speculate on what this means for Ruggs or the Raiders as like the Raiders have taken a fucking beating and
Jesus Christ.
Obviously
I'm still processing.
But yeah, Hunter Renfrow should see an uptick. Bryan Edwards should see an uptick in fantasy, and Zay Jones is probably going to replace the speed role that Henry Ruggs was, dealing for the Raiders. So
wow. This was a big sidetrack, but it had to be said. We had to go through this sidetrack because I just learned something very important today.
Yeah, yes, you did.
Wow, that's crazy. I'm gonna have to look that up more because you're going to jail. You're going to jail.
Oh yeah, you are. And just to put a bow on the Thursday night game before we hop too far away,
we're still talking about.
Well, I just want to say JJ Watt didn't play. He actually had shoulder surgery. JJ Watt's out for season with the shoulder surgery and the recovery.
I did.
And then AJ Green missed the game-winning pass. He didn't even fucking look at it. He didn't even see it.
Now, Andrew, while we're on the subject of the Thursday night game, because we both had players playing in fantasy in the Thursday night game. We played each other. We didn't hype this up at all. We didn't hype this up at all last week. But me and you actually faced off in our fantasy dynasty league in week 8.
I was.
And how'd that work out for you?
It was not well. This was a bad week for me. I had a lot of people in buy, and your team performed fairly well. I did try to trade you. I tried to trade you. I tried to trade a bunch of people for a quarterback because I was out there playing Taylor Heineke, which is like whatever. I mean, he could have a game where he throws 3 touchdowns to Scary Terry, but I didn't love it. I was 2 minutes away from trading for Josh Allen.
2 minutes, huh?
Yeah, it was 11:58, and Alec and I were like in the midst of
B3T Sports analyst Alec.
Yep, and we were in the midst of that trade, and it fell through. We couldn't make it happen. I was also nervous, like, of accepting the trade at like 11:59 and then not being able to get those players in your lineup before the game starts, and then you're like, you just have empty fucking seats in your roster.
Dude, I was very close to trading you, but I also wanted to beat you because I knew that if I
totally...
traded you, because one of the big pieces in our trade would have been Lamar Jackson,
right?
And he was on a bye, and so I probably would have taken the loss. Although, funny enough, my backup is Jimmy G, and he actually ended
he
up
went off. He was the
off.
number 3 QB on the week or something like that because he had 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah. So, but I thought I wanted to beat you more than I wanted to trade you, which shows how short-sighted I am.
I'm in the market to, depending on how my next 4 matchups go in that league for fantasy. If I win the next 4 of them and I am able to get myself in a spot to be 8-4, I'm going to ride Lamar obviously and try to make a postseason run. If I go like 2-2, I might be trying to ship Lamar just for his upside, only because
I'm still here, Andrew.
Well, you and I have talked about this several times.
You come
Lamar's
to me
great.
the day of my daughter's wedding, and you try to trade me Lamar. You try to trade me Lamar on the day of my daughter's wedding, Andrew. I might have it.
I might have it. I like Justin Herbert too. You even said Justin Herbert is like a better long-term play.
Okay, we have gone off on a huge
tangent. Absolutely.
So
you're traveling all weekend, so we didn't get to talk. So it's like we have all this shit.
We're also
Cincinnati.
catching up. We're also catching up in our social lives, and we're using the podcast as
our medium.
As our medium. People
Cincinnati.
Like, I don't give a fuck.
Cincinnati, New York Jets. Mike White played the game of his life.
Who the fuck is Mike White?
He was the backup.
Hold on. Do we have to talk week 8?
Yeah, well, we do a little bit. Let's at least hit the high points for it, okay? Because Mike White threw for more yards against the Bengals than Adam Gase had a single offense ever under his coaching for the Jets. He threw for like over 400 yards. He played better. He played better than Zach. He's just a career journeyman backup quarterback.
That's hilarious.
And is there a controversy now? Like, do you think if you're a Jets fan on who you want starting the rest of the season?
Honestly, I couldn't give a shit. As a fan, I couldn't give a shit about who you got in the draft. Like, oh, we drafted Zach Wilson number 2 or number 3 overall. You know, that kind of stuff. Right. I don't give a shit about that. Put the person who is the most likely to succeed in that position. And if Mike White, well, they lost, right? They lost to the Bengals. Or did they beat the Bengals?
They beat the Bengals. 3 points.
Fuck yeah. Leave him in because what's the incentive?
So leave him. See, this is what happens when you travel. You miss the big moments. Car accidents and
I know I was traveling now, and the Ravens were also on a bye, which was perfect because I was traveling a bunch. I did watch some games on Sunday, and we'll talk about it in our recap because that's the only games I'll be able to really talk about. I watched the Bills and Dolphins, and I watched the Panthers Falcons because I was in Charlotte. I was in Charlotte.
That game was rough. The one thing I want to talk about in the next game, Tennessee, Indianapolis, it was close. It was close the whole time. Like
I thought the Colts were going to win.
I thought the Colts were going to win as well. I had the Colts winning. You did not. You had the Titans winning, which was smart. You destroyed me, by the way. Foreshadowing here. You destroyed me in the pick'em contest this week. My 10-team parlay.
Guess who's picking the picks first this week?
It's you.
Suck it.
Derrick Henry hurt his foot. He has to have surgery on it. He's out 6 to 10 weeks. Most likely 8 weeks. But Adrian Peterson got signed by them. I really like a lot of the fantasy community is split between McNichols and AP. I think AP is going to get near 20 carries a game, 18 carries a game, because that's the role that he's played in his career in the past. And he's cheap. It doesn't cost them anything. They could run him into the ground and keep the same type of offense, and it's not going to matter.
What do you think about who's the other guy, McNichols or whatever?
McNichols.
What do you think about him splitting time with AP?
I think that they're probably both going to be relevant. I mean, Derrick Henry gets 30 touches a game. There's not a single running back. Yeah, there's not a single running back in the game who's going to get 30 touches consistently in a game, unless it's Christian McCaffrey. But we've seen what that did to him. Like, he's hurt.
Saquon.
Oh, sure. So and they're getting hurt left and right. So they'll probably split time, but they'll probably both be fine. The thing about this game was Carson Wentz threw a pick 6 on his own 2-yard.
The worst.
Here's the thing: everyone's giving him a hard time because for 2 reasons. One, like, I can't believe you'd make that throw. But 2, they're like, they're upset because people are saying it was the smart play. A safety ends the game there, which it does. I don't want it to. A safety will end the game there because that's 2 points, and then the Titans are going to get the ball back.
Sure.
So that the coach, Frank Wright, he said that it was his fault for putting him in that position. Everyone gave Carson Wentz a hard time about that. I think it's totally true. Why are you having Carson Wentz throw it like that on the 2-yard line? You need to be running the ball. But
true. But you also, as a quarterback, should know. I mean, I know an intentional grounding there is a safety, but you should know to get the ball to the line of scrimmage and just throw it away.
Yep. No, I agree. Or like just fall forward. I don't know. But so that was that. The Rams played Houston. Really not a whole lot to talk about. It was like 38-22, and all the 22 points for Houston came in the fourth quarter.
I was going to say the Rams almost covered because they had a ridiculous spread, but I'm pretty sure the Houston's fourth quarter effort gave them the spread.
No. Nope, it did not. It was 14 and a half. Nope.
Oh, fuck me then.
Yep. Steelers Browns, the game was gross. Yep. It's disgusting to watch. Although drama, Odell Beckham Jr.'s dad posted a video online of all the bad passes Baker's ever thrown to Odell, and Odell and some of the other Browns players liked it. The videos came down. Odell has now left the team, saying like that he will not play.
Left the team.
He won't play another snap for the Browns. And
oh my God, what is happening? I was gone for.
I can't believe you missed all this.
How am I not hearing these things? How am I not hearing these things? Robbie, have you heard all these things? Has Robbie heard all? If Robbie's heard these things, I have to retire. I have heard
these things.
Oh my God.
I'm not even on social media. I mean, maybe.
God. How did I not know this?
Dude, it's insane. And
Robbie knows. Robbie knows.
And the trade deadline has passed. So that means that the Browns either can release him for dead cap, or they can negotiate a settlement in which he'll eat part of his contract and not get all that it's worth to be a free agent. But from what it sounds like, the Browns are willing to hold him hostage.
Dang, so anyone who had Odell as a fantasy owner.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't doing anything for you anyway, and he was like going a little bit later in the drafts. But
true.
Philadelphia versus Detroit. Boy, were we fucking wrong. Definitely thought Detroit could win this one. No chance.
Nope. We were both wrong on that one.
San Francisco, they did beat the Chicago Bears, but the Bears actually looked like they had a competent offense, and Matt Nagy was not on the sidelines because of COVID protocol. Coincidence?
I think not. Coincidence? I think not. But that's the game, obviously, that Jimmy G went off. Yep. And if we had made that trade and I had started Jimmy G, well, I still would have won, but just by more margin.
Carolina and Atlanta. Carolina wins. Sam Darnold left the game with a concussion.
Yep. PJ Walker.
PJ Walker, baby. PJ Walker.
XFL.
Calvin Ridley is walking away from football temporarily or permanently. He didn't really put a time limit on it, but due to mental health concerns, that's why he's been away from the team. Like that's why he didn't go to London earlier in the year. That's why he missed this game. Fantasy wise, that's really bad for Kyle Pitts. They do not have another guy to stretch the field. Kyle Pitts is getting quadruple teamed on 3 plays. Like again, like the Atlanta Falcons are cooked. They don't have any way to win football games, I don't think.
Yes. Do we have any insight? So I did hear about this because that was one of the games that I watched this past weekend. And obviously mental health is a big thing now in the NFL that I feel like
now.
No, in the NFL. Obviously mental health is a big thing, but I feel like just recently you have a lot of players coming out and talking about mental health, right?
Oh yeah. And Simone Biles.
They're more,
Osaka, like, athletes in general.
Yeah. Athletes in general, especially big superstars like the ones you just mentioned. Has Calvin Ridley come out and said anything about it?
He made the statement just saying that I'm stepping away from football. Like he released the statement. It wasn't like the team released it. All the team said was he's not with us today, like for a personal matter. And then a little bit before the game, Calvin Ridley released a statement on his social media saying that I'm stepping away from football to deal with mental. I mean, it could be 2 weeks. 2 weeks could go by and he could be like, I have addressed my issues and I am back. He could be done forever. Like there's literally no, and it's a guy like Calvin Ridley who was so dominant in the years before. And this has to be serious because for his career, this is his 5th year option. Like if he was going to get a supermax contract, this is the year.
Right.
So that sucks. Hope all goes well for him, but that's a big blow. Miami and Buffalo. Miami played way better than they did the last time they played Buffalo. I mean, I think the last time it was like 44-0 or something stupid. This time it was like 11.
This was kind of close, and then the Bills, I feel like, ran away with it towards the end of the game.
Yeah, Josh Allen turned it on.
Josh Allen did turn it on. He had a big fantasy game this past week. I'm trying to think. Gesicki, the tight end, I traded for. So back to the trade that got me Jamar Chase, that I got Jamar Chase on. I traded Saquon Barkley, Devontae Booker, and Mike Gesicki for Jamar Chase. Now, obviously, you need to know rosters. I really needed a wide receiver, because I had DK Metcalf, and I still have Hollywood Brown kind of to throw in there as a flex, and Hunter Renfrow now that Ruggs is going to jail.
Yep.
So adding Jamar Chase, I already have Monty, who's on IR, but he will be back soon. I have Cordell Patterson. So we just talked about the Falcons. He's getting a lot of work. And he's getting a lot in a PPR league. In a PPR league, he's getting a lot of passing. Like it. And I have Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, I see no issue. I mean, like it sucks getting rid of a player like Barkley always. I mean, you're never going to be happy when you ship that.
Dude. He's just injured.
I know.
And I added Booker for insurance purposes.
Right. That totally makes sense. I like the trade. I think that's good. You'll have to update us as the season goes on how that turned out. New England and the Chargers. This game turned out to be close. I really thought the Chargers were better than they are.
I don't know what's happening with the Chargers, dude. They, the Ravens are good. Well, hold on, Andrew. The Ravens are good, and we whooped the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's not really a good look. But to lose like this, were they in a bye? Did they just have a bye?
They did.
So to lose like this right after the bye, I don't know. Something might be up.
I know the Patriots almost lost to the Texans, but
every given Sunday, bro.
I know, but
every given Sunday.
Are the Patriots better than what people imagine?
I think so. Yeah,
I think Mac Jones is legit.
Mac Jones is good. I haven't been watching the Patriots that often this season, although I did watch the Bucks versus the Patriots, and that's in the monsoon. And McCorkle Jones threw 15 completions in a row.
Yeah.
It was something insane like that. Game. And they were one field goal away from potentially beating the Bucks. I think they're. I mean, it's the Patriots, right? And they still have one of the greatest head coaches in NFL history. So I'm gonna always give them the benefit of the doubt. Exactly, benefit of the doubt.
Jacksonville,
you owe me a fucking Coke.
Jacksonville, Seattle. Jacksonville sucks.
Jacksonville's terrible. I'm glad. Actually, I'm not glad that they got their win, but I actually wish they would go winless this season. But expect them to go winless the rest of the season because they're terrible. Do they don't play the Lions? Do they?
I don't know. They might. I doubt.
Robbie's shaking his head. I trust Robbie. I trust Robbie.
James Robinson.
Because that's the only way that they would win.
Yeah, I would say. James Robinson hurt his foot. He left the game. Carlos Hyde got a majority of the snaps. If James Robinson is out again, Carlos Hyde's going to be your guy. Washington and Denver. This was a terrible, terrible game. It was even kind of close, and it was still boring as hell to watch. Denver tried to lose it.
You started.
I did.
Heineke.
I did. I with no hope. But so we're going to skip past that game. Tampa Bay, New Orleans Saints. This is insane. Tom Brady played terrible final 2 minutes, horrible turnovers, interceptions. It's kind of whatever. The Bucs end up losing. Jameis Winston tore his ACL. He is out the rest of the season.
He is out the rest of the season. Now here's something, because I watched the tail end of this game because we were trick-or-treating during most of the game, and then we got back with my niece, and then we got back, and then the game was still on, and I watched the final few minutes of it. Where's Taysom Hill?
He has a concussion. He's been in the concussion protocol for 2 weeks. He's about to Trevor Siemian.
Yeah, Trevor Siemian. I was like, where's Taysom Hill?
Taysom is set to clear concussion protocol. He's actually my number one waiver wire pickup for this week for quarterbacks. I like him a lot as a stream.
Did you pick him up in our Dynasty League?
I picked him up in a lot of leagues. He's already owned in the Dynasty League. But it's what he gives you on the ground is very, very safe, right? So you have a nice solid floor where he's not going to lose you the week. He won't win you the week, but
he'll probably get you a solid 5 points of rushing.
Right,
per week,
exactly.
Right, 50 yards is probably very doable for Taysom Hill to run.
Right, and then it may be a 50% chance he rushes one in for a touchdown or something. Exactly. I mean, so I like that a lot. The other thing, Michael Thomas made an announcement. There's a small setback with his ankle injury, and he's going to be out the rest of the season.
Imagine picking up Michael Thomas this year. Actually, imagine picking up Michael Thomas last year and this year, because
last year he did me dirty.
Last year wasn't as obvious. It should have been as plain as day this year that he was going to probably be out a lot of games. I mean, it fooled me once, shame on you. Twice, shame on me. I'm never trusting that guy again. I don't want him on my team. I'm not touching him.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Fantasy. I mean, if I'm a Saints fan, I still want him if he's actually going to play ever again.
I mean, yeah, as a player, he's great, and he will probably continue to be great if he is like on the field playing. But if he's not,
wah, wah.
Yeah, exactly. I traded him away. I would like to. Let me see here. I traded him away in one of my leagues, and it was. I would like to get that. It was with Alec, our analyst.
Our B3T sports analyst, Alec.
I traded away Emmanuel Sanders, Latavius Murray, Chris Carson, and Michael Thomas. And I got Chase Edmonds, AJ Brown, and Alexander Madison. I am the Dalvin Cook owner.
Okay, 1 second. What league is this?
This is the league that I'm in with Brett Coleman and
Is
Brett
this
Holmkamp.
Dynasty?
No, this is just redraft. Standard redraft. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So it turns out that
I wasn't invited to it, but no, that's fine. That's cool.
It's for people who are really hardcore into fantasy.
I don't want another league. 2 leagues.
I was just gonna say you could have been invited. We could have said we'll pay you to play in this league, and you'd be like, "Nah, I'm good."
No, 2 is perfect, especially with 1 is a redraft and 1 is dynasty. That's perfect. That's perfect amount.
Dallas played Minnesota. Dallas played Cooper Rush instead of Dak. Dak did warm-ups and everything, but
I saw that.
he was like pulled the last second. Didn't matter. Cooper Rush took care of business. I mean, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Cedric Wilson all had really good games. The Cowboys are good.
Sure, the Cowboys are good. Yeah, the Cowboys are good.
Although this didn't happen during week 8, but just news today, CeeDee Lamb did sprain his ankle today at practice. He did not participate today. That's on the monitor heading into Sunday. So,
damn, dude.
And then we had the Giants and the Chiefs, and I'm ready to condemn the Chiefs. I know they won, but they look bad.
Barely
they look bad. They look terrible. And I don't know what what needs to happen to fix that. But
I don't know either. First off, let's just congratulate Devontae Booker for an amazing game. I think he got over 100. No, he easily got over 100 yards combined receiving and rushing. I think he got like 17 points in fantasy.
Yep.
I needed him to get 17. Literally, I won by 0.4 points this week in my other redraft league. So I needed him to have a big game. He did. So congratulate me and congratulate Devontae Booker. Okay.
Yep.
He will be playing again this week because Saquon Barkley has COVID.
Well, okay. So that's also
Right?
news. He's vaccinated. And
You can still get it,
but he's had a negative test as well. So he's had a positive and a negative.
The plot thickens.
Yes. So if he has a second negative test within 48 hours before the game, then it will be considered a false positive, and he will be able to play.
Interesting. Now,
barring the ankle injury. If the ankle injury is
sure. Right. Now, will this be the same for Aaron Rodgers as well?
No, I heard that he does stuff with crystals. That's how I've heard that he's not vaccinated.
That's how he protects himself from COVID-19.
I'm not kidding. I don't want to like report on this. Like
he perennial sons with what's her name? What's her name?
I don't remember.
Shailene Woodley.
Yes, that's who it is.
Perennial
Are they still together?
sonning. I'm pretty sure they're engaged or married. But
they're engaged.
Or married, like Robbie. Do you know if Robbie's nodding? Robbie,
I think they're just engaged at this point.
Now, Robbie,
I did not know that they were engaged.
Do you know what perennial sunning is?
I'm gonna mute my microphone.
he's like out.
Does that mean he knows?
I don't know. He's out. He left us for dead.
He's shaking his head. I don't know if he's looking it up or what, dude. But look up if you don't. He knows.
He knows.
So anyway, Shailene Woodley is a big perennial sunner. She's a big perennial sunner, which is like getting energy from the sun. So I guarantee you, between that and Danica Patrick, who was a big
race car driver,
and a big crystal head, Aaron Rodgers uses crystals and perennial sunning to ward off COVID-19. I'm pretty sure those are his two main defenses against the disease.
Main defenses. I mean, I'm all about it.
Perennial sunning. That's what it's called, right? Perennial.
I think so. Yeah, I think that sounds right.
Oh, is it perennial tanning?
Who cares?
Fuck,
the bottom line is that Aaron Rodgers is not protected against COVID-19
with your taint. That's what it is. Tanning with your taint. What is it called, dude? Perennium sunning. It's called perenniums.
There you
perennial.
go.
I just made perennial. Well, perennial. That's pretty fucking close. Anyway, Robbie, it's called perennium sunning.
In case you were wondering.
Show Robbie's face, dude. This is hilarious. Show Robbie's. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean that's
finished it, right?
Yeah, that's the whole slate.
Yeah, Chiefs. By the way, Chiefs are fucked. Chiefs. I mean, maybe they make a wild card. They're not going to be the same Chiefs. This year.
I'll say
Travis
this.
Kelce had no game.
The Broncos are bad, so there's that. And
they can make the playoffs. They can still make the playoffs.
Yeah, but they're not going to be a Super Bowl team. I don't think
that's what I'm saying. They're not making the AFC championship.
I would agree with that. Minus 5.5. All right, so we were tied 50-50 at the week 9 or at the week 8.
And how'd that work out for you, Andrew?
Well, you got 8 right, and I got 4 right. So now you are 4 ahead of me, 58-54.
This is when I run away with it, by the way.
And it sucked
because when I reach my final form.
It also fucked me in the 10-team parlay. Worst I have ever done. 4 out of 10.
That's actually still not that bad considering you do it every single week.
This year,
is 4 out of 10 really the worst you've ever done?
Yeah.
Because that's almost 50%.
I mean, yeah.
I mean
on the week.
I know you don't do spreads. You do.
Sometimes I do spreads. Every once in a while, I do spreads, but it's
so. 4 out of 10 being your worst record ever, and you do it every week. That's actually not that bad.
It's not terrible, but it still doesn't feel good.
We need a statistician. Do we know a statistician?
We do know a statistician.
Alec, if you're listening, I don't know if he listens to us as much as he used to. We do get very annoying. He has to deal with us in real life as well. But Alec, if you're listening to this episode, let us know how 4 out of 10 is. If you do it, this is your second year?
So this is my second year. I don't have the stats for last year combined with this year. But I do. I'm trying to fucking Reddit is. Oh, okay, I thought Reddit was down. I post these to Reddit in the.
They probably hated you this week.
Probably, but I've got my record.
Don't ruin your reputation on Reddit, Andrew. Your reputation on Reddit is a very big thing.
Listen, it's called Andy's 10-team parlay. Are you kidding me? It's got my face on it.
Oh my god, you just ruined your reputation.
So here's the thing. So this year, obviously I have not hit a 10-team parlay. I have also not hit a wishful thinker parlay. I have hit one idiot parlay.
Okay.
And I've hit 6 of my 6 out of the 8 in the free win parlays. That's just the parlays. Now here are my picks. For the free win, I'm 22 of 24. I have a 92% pick rate.
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid, bro.
Wishful thinker, 8 for 24. That's a 33% hit rate. The idiot is 12 of 24. That's 50%. And then on the whole shebang, every pick I've made, 47 of 80. That's a 59% pick rate.
Not bad.
No, not terrible. I mean, it's
not great, not terrible.
If I threw in last year's as well, if I went back and dug those up and did it, it would be much better. Because I had a lot. I had like 2 weeks of 9 and a couple weeks of 8. But
okay, should we talk week 9 preview?
Yeah, let's talk week 9.
I'm going to go first. Preview. I'm going to go first because I'm beating you by 4 games.
That is correct.
Smoking you, if you will. So let's start with tonight. We have the Jets.
Yes,
Andrew,
we do.
We have the Jets. And Andrew, who are the Jets playing? Who are the Jets playing?
Colts, the Indianapolis Colts.
And what is the spread on this game?
I honestly, I want you to guess. I'm assuming you know who's favored.
Well, the Colts should be favored.
They are favored.
Now, Mike White, will he have another crazy 400 passing yard game? I mean, they just beat the Bengals too. Interesting. I'm going to guess the Colts are favored by 4.5.
They're 10-point favorites.
Insanity. I'm taking the Jets. That's insanity. They just beat the Bengals.
I am.
Take the Colts. I dare you.
I'm gonna take the Jets as well. I have to. I have to take the Jets. Next up, we got Atlanta and the Saints. The Saints are 6.5-point favorites.
The Saints are 6.5-point favorites with Taysom Hill.
Well, technically it's undecided yet. He hasn't technically cleared concussion protocol. Everything's trending for him to do that, but
I'm going to take the Falcons.
You're going to take the Falcons
to cover, Andrew, 6.5.
I
know we just talked about Calvin Ridley being out, but I still like Atlanta's offense.
Give me the Saints.
Okay.
Denver and Dallas. Dallas are 10-point favorites.
Now, here's the thing. Is Dak playing?
Dak is supposed to play, yes. He has had a lot of good practices, they said this week. Also, something we didn't talk about.
Lamb is out.
That also is not confirmed. He just didn't participate. It could be a very mild ankle sprain, who knows. But at the trade deadline, the Denver Broncos did make a trade. Since you were traveling and you might not have heard about this, they traded Von Miller.
I did get this, yes. I
traded
did get
to
this
the Rams.
News. Yes, so the Rams are just
scary.
Again, well, they were scary before. Now they're even more scary, and they just treat picks like Monopoly money.
Although I read something funny on Twitter the other day, though. Everyone gets upset with that. They're like, they're not going to have any.
I don't get upset with that.
No, I don't either.
I think it's funny, but I don't get upset.
I think that there are a lot of people on social who are like, they're trading their future. They're going to be bad. They're, you know what I mean? Like,
now's the time to make a move.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like, if you have a shot to win it, go for it. Like,
dude, all these teams wants to win a Super Bowl so bad, and the fact that he got so close. Mm-hmm. He's got the taste. He's got the taste of blood in his mouth. He'll do anything to get back there.
He's also quoted in saying, like, if he's like my life mission is to get Aaron Donald a ring because he deserves it. Which, I mean, yeah, Aaron Donald's potentially one of the best defensive players ever to play in the NFL.
Absolutely. I'm gonna take the Cowboys.
I am also taking the Cowboys. Carolina Panthers. New England Patriots. The Patriots are 3.5-point favorites.
Patriots, please. With PJ Walker. PJ Walker's going to be playing, right?
Yeah. Well, again, not confirmed, but it's assumed that will be the case. I'm going to take Carolina.
That's a no-brainer. Wow.
I'm taking Carolina.
Well, you're a Panthers fan. You're a Panthers fan, but this
also,
is
Christian McCaffrey has logged to practice this week.
He's not playing.
I don't think so either. But he's logged to practice. Okay, listen, I also have to take I have to take a couple of risks here to like catch up. I can't just also.
Sure. I don't think that's
if I'm going to bend on him, it's got to be on my team, right?
Yeah, okay.
I'll just be double sad. Minnesota.
Lead with your heart, not your head.
Minnesota, Baltimore 6-point favorites. Who you got?
Sorry, Alex. Sorry, B3T Sports analyst Alec. The Ravens are going to stomp you. Coming out of a bye, there's a crazy stat that I wrote about actually last year on b3tsports.com. The Ravens are disgustingly good coming out of bye weeks. Like, I want to say 90+% win rate. They're insane after buys. So, I mean, the fact that we just lost to the Bengals, then we had a bye. Now we're hungry. We're well rested.
Now we're hungry.
The Vikings are fucked.
Rashad Bateman, by the way, for a lot of people listening, he was not owned in a ton of leagues. I mean, like 27% of leagues on Tuesday anyway. If he is available out there and you need a wide receiver, I would go pick up Rashad Bateman.
I have him in our dynasty. I drafted him.
I also took Baltimore at -6. Cleveland, Cincinnati. Cincinnati are 2.5-point favorites.
Give me Cincinnati.
We're
on to Cincinnati.
I'm in an interesting spot here. Cleveland, the Browns always play much better when Odell is not playing, and he's not playing the rest of the season.
Who cares? They still aren't that good, and the Bengals are hot.
Are they? They just lost to the Jets.
That's why they're hot right now. They're hot with anger.
They're
red hot with anger.
I'm taking Cleveland.
Sure. I mean, you're just basically giving me more lead, but yeah.
Buffalo, 14.5-point favorites over Jacksonville.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take the Bills.
That's so many points.
I mean, we just talked about the Rams killing the Texans. Good teams will kill bad teams.
They should.
And the Bills have a great defense. I don't know why I'm trying to convince you. Pick whoever you want.
We'll both take Buffalo. I mean, listen, I'm my own.
I'm trying to convince our viewers who watch us for our picks.
They don't. No one's watching us for our picks. They're at home. They're laughing and they're yelling.
Idiots, all of them. Houston,
Miami 5.5-point favorites.
I guess the Deshaun Watson trade didn't go through.
No, it didn't. No, it did not.
Or else I should have. I mean, who knows? I missed a lot of news this past weekend, so maybe I did miss it. I will take. I guess I'll take the Dolphins.
I'm also taking the Dolphins. The Las Vegas Raiders are 3.5-point favorites against the New York Giants.
Yeah, give me the Raiders. Giants are poopy.
I'm also taking the Raiders. Chargers, Eagles. Chargers are 2-point favorites.
Give me the Chargers. I will not. I don't think I'll ever bet on the Eagles. I don't think I ever will.
I think that I will here in this instance. Okay. I'll tell you why.
No, you tell me why, Andrew.
The Chargers are one of the worst teams in the NFL against the run, and the Eagles, they just ran all over the Lions. The Lions are bad, but the Lions have a better ranked run defense than the Chargers. So the Chargers will be able to score points like the Lions couldn't, but I think that there's a solid chance that Philly could sneak out a win here.
Andrew, I'm not trying to convince you. I feel great about my Chargers pick.
Green Bay, Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are 7.5-point favorites.
No, I'm taking the Packers.
You're taking the Packers with Jordan Love.
No, fuck. No.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, right? That's
okay,
why
thank you.
This one's funny.
Thank you. We obviously just talked about Aaron Rodgers having
and
COVID
his crystals.
And his crystals and his premiums. No, I am not betting with Jordan Love. I am going Chiefs.
I am going Packers.
You fuck.
What?
That was a bait and switch. You just baited me to pick the Chiefs. You're like, you with Jordan Love? Andrew,
I was curious because
are you stupid or something? You know,
the B3T Sports Twitter account tweeted this out. It wanted to know, like, it was polling the. May, of course. What do you mean?
Just say that then. Just say you're tweeting. Well, why are you saying the B3T?
Because I manage 4 Twitter accounts. What are you talking about? I can't just be like, I tweeted.
Yes, you can.
No, so Jordan Love, obviously the Packers traded up for Jordan Love. The Chiefs have like the worst defense in the league. Like they have horrible
terrible
metrics, like in all major metrics, like yards per game allowed, passing yards per game allowed, rushing yards per game allowed. Like they're bottom 25th in almost all of those.
So AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones are going to eat. Is that what you're saying?
They definitely should. So should Devontae Adams because he's officially back and set to play. The problem is, what is this game going to tell us? Like, if he plays poorly, how fucked are the Green Bay Packers and they're gonna say a lot.
Give him more than one game. I mean, I'm not a Jordan Love fan. I just don't know anything about him.
Yeah,
but coming in the middle of the season playing. I mean, yes, the Chiefs are bad. Their defense is bad. They're still the Chiefs.
It's not just bad. It's like worst in the league, and it's historically bad. And not only that, but a year and a half under Aaron Rodgers. I mean, this is the whole point of them drafting him anyway.
I'm taking the Packers.
Sure, you could change your thing.
I won't change my thing because that defeats the whole purpose of me going first. I'll take the Chiefs at -7.
I mean, you can change. I don't care. I'm curious.
You baited me.
I'm just curious because, like,
are you
Chiefs,
curious? Because you baited me, Andrew. You
Arizona,
baited me.
San Francisco. San Francisco looks like they are. Did I read that right? San Francisco they're 2-point favorites. Are you kidding me?
Over the Cardinals?
Over the Cardinals.
How does that make sense, Andrew?
It's in San Francisco.
Andrew, how does that make sense?
It doesn't. I'll tell you that much right now. Doesn't make sense.
Well, then I guess I'll take the Cardinals as the underdog.
I am also going to take the Cardinals. Oops. If we were smart, we would have been tracking ROI as well.
Why would we do that? We're all risking that. We're not risking any units.
No, I mean, we could just create an imaginary unit because I could be doing worse, but if my picks were better, right?
I get what you're saying. So, like, if I feel really confident about a game, I could go like all in on it, but there'd have to be a cap.
Yeah. It's like you couldn't go. Maybe next season. We'll work out the kinks. Tennessee, okay. LA Rams. Rams are 7-point favorites.
And the Titans don't have Derrick Henry. I will take the Rams.
I am also taking the Rams. And then Chicago, Pittsburgh, 6-point favorites.
Give me Chicago. Gross. Give me Chicago.
I will take Pittsburgh for the variance.
Is that the night game?
That is the night game. Actually, it's the Monday night game.
Monday night game. And the Cardinals...
Sunday night game is the Tennessee LA Rams.
Yes. Thank God. I'd actually much rather watch that game than the 49ers Cardinals.
Yep. 49ers Cardinals could be okay. We'll fucking.
We just watched the Cardinals. I feel like we just watched the 49ers.
That's it. That's our pick 'em. Want to talk about Dune? Robbie,
Dune.
Have you read Dune or seen Dune?
I actually watched Dune, I think a week ago.
Oh, okay, cool. So you can be part of this conversation because I didn't want to. I was scared we'd spoil it. We should put up a big spoiler tag for Dune.
Yes. Spoiler tag. This is for real. Last episode, we actually didn't talk about Dune, even though it was in our title. Now we're
quit dragging our last episode.
Now we're actually going to talk about Dune because we've all seen it. Now, Andrew, Robbie, I'm assuming that you guys haven't read the book.
I have not read the book.
I haven't read the book now.
So I'm curious what you guys thought as someone who went in with fresh eyes and didn't have some backstory that it had to live up to.
You didn't care for it.
I'm not a huge sci-fi person.
Okay.
To be honest.
No Blade Runner? You don't like Blade Runner?
Blade Runner's so good. They're directed by the same person.
Yes, yeah. And a lot of the same cast.
I loved it. I thought it was really good. I thought
you loved it. Give me a score.
8.2
out of 10.
Out of 10.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Robbie, what's your score out of 10?
Oh, I'll be unbiased. I'll give it a solid 7.
What was your favorite scene?
What was my favorite scene?
I have my favorite scene. I was
curious.
Scene.
I was assuming you had it since you came loaded with it. My favorite scene, it's kind of tough because there were like visually stunning scenes, and then there's like scenes that were like cool. The coolest scene in the movie was when he was having that flash forward moment where he like saw like them in all those like those sleek white and gold night suits, and they were like fighting in the desert. Right. I thought that was sick as hell. That was so cool. I
loved every scene with the Baron in it. That fat fuck, dude. I love.
He was cool
visually. I mean, it was Skarsgård, right? He's a very famous actor. I just love looking at that fat fucking slob, the Baron, and when he's just chilling in that fucking black tar bath after like he gets poisoned and he's like recovering and he just comes up submerged and he's just like dripping in like fucking black tar oil and he's just like, I'm fucking hungry. Fucking hungry. Like they did it perfectly because in the book he's like this big fat fucking slob. And I was very curious on how if they were actually going to translate that because I didn't know which characters played who going into it. And I did know Dave Bautista, who's obviously from Guardians of the Galaxy. He's a big shredded, dude. I thought they were going to make him the Baron because I knew that he was evil, like just from the trailers and stuff. And I was like, oh, of course they get some shredded, but he actually is the nephew of the Baron, which is great. Right. That's totally fine. So I give casting a 10 out of 10. I thought
casting was great. Josh Brolin was great.
Brolin, even Zendaya, who didn't even really do much. I loved her. Timothée Chalamet, he can get annoying sometimes visually with his facial expressions. I still thought it was good. Oscar Isaac as the Duke, and then obviously Jason Momoa as Duncan Idaho.
He was good too. What were you saying?
Fucking Slob Baron though, dude, so funny.
Robbie, what would you say was your favorite scene?
I would say when the Duke poisoned everybody as like his last act. That was pretty
good.
Badass.
That was cool.
That was like
good. I liked the movie a lot. It was very visually stunning. Like it was good. We went and saw it on the Ultra screen, not quite IMAX.
We saw IMAX. We saw it in IMAX.
We were going to, but we had some scheduling conflicts. But when I saw it with my girlfriend, and when we saw it,
your girlfriend,
yes, and when
what's her
hard
name?
To believe. The Carolina Panthers.
Took the whole team with you.
When we were leaving the theater, we were chit-chatting about it, and she was like, I think she's like, I would have preferred this maybe in like a Game of Thrones setting. Like it's Game of Thrones
vibes. It's got Game of Thrones vibes because there's all these different houses. And so and then they all kind of report to the Emperor, who they haven't shown yet. But so it is very Game of Thrones, where you have all these separate houses and they're all kind of battling. And Dune is the place where all this rich spice is harvested.
Right.
And that is how interstellar travel is possible. So it's a very valuable asset. And so it's just really good. It's got all those inner workings of politics that Game of Thrones has. Reading the book, like I said, casting 10 out of 10. I thought they did everything really well with casting. The visuals were very good. Like Dune, the planet was very similar to how I imagined it in the book. The score, the music was very good. They did have to, and this is just part of transitioning from a rich detailed book that you can have a bunch of words to depict a scene, and then having to portray that in the movie. Some scenes felt a little forced compared to the book. Like an example is when Lady Jessica gets the Chris knife from the servant.
And you're like, wow, okay, what the fuck?
Exactly. That didn't really hit with people, but in the book, it's very suspenseful and it's very good, and there's a lot of meaning behind that. But in the movie, you're like, okay, cool, thanks for the knife. It doesn't hit the same way. It's just little things like that. But overall, I'd give it a 7.3 out of 10.
Would you say you're a big sci-fi guy, or you're just
huge sci-fi guy?
You're a huge.
I love Star Wars.
Watch Ad Astra, you son of a bitch.
Okay, yes, I still need to watch Ad Astra, but I love Star Wars. I've seen all the Star Wars. I love Blade Runner. We just talked about Blade Runner.
Great.
Arrival. Great. What?
Have you seen Arrival?
Arrival is great. Interstellar is great.
Guy.
Yeah, yes. Oscar Isaac was in it. He's the Duke. There's a fuck. What is that? Oh man, that's gonna annoy me. It's shit. Oscar Isaac is in a really good movie where he has a robot, and the robot is the Turing test. It's is this robot?
It's Ex Machina.
Ex Machina.
That's a really great movie. That movie's fucking freaky.
I love that movie, and so that's what I think of whenever I see Oscar Isaac.
Although the two scariest scenes in any movie on the planet, the first one is in Signs, when you see that alien walk across the street in the birthday party. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't think I've seen Signs. So
that's wait, seriously? That's not the whole point of the movie. There are aliens. You should watch that movie. It's really good. It is M. Night Shyamalan, and it's really good.
I love M. Night Shyamalan, by the way. I even his corny movies. The Last Airbender is where I draw the line, but
that's where most people draw the line.
Everything else I actually really enjoyed. The Village.
And then obviously this joke doesn't hit because you haven't seen Signs, but there's a spoof of it in A Scary Movie where they parody the alien walking across the birthday party, and it's really funny. But
that's supposed to be scary.
No, but that's the joke. That's it's back to back. Those are the scariest scenes. It's so scary that makes that scene scary.
Oh, okay.
Listen, my jokes are wasted. As far I like this. We should do more movie talk on the podcast. That's the Beyond portion. We don't do any Beyond anymore. We barely do any bath.
We barely do any bath. We should be in the bath more often. I agree with that. With football, I feel like it takes up all of our time just because there's so much to talk about. But usually outside of football season, we're in the beyond all the fucking time.
Well, we used to do 2 shows a week. It was easier when it was just audio.
We also do 2 shows a week. I used to talk about crypto all the time. All the fucking time. That was the most beyond shit ever. Now, I will say we will just wrapping up crypto because you brought it up, right? You just brought up
No, you brought it up, but let's go with it.
One of our episodes, and I can't remember, I think this might have been a video episode, like one of the first video episodes we did. I talked about Xcopy, the artist.
Yes.
And I talked about there's a piece called Afterburn, which is his most accessible piece. When we talked about it, it was ranging in the $1,500 per piece. There's like 800. It's an edition piece of 800 pieces, and each edition was selling at the time around $1,500. Would you like to guess how much it is currently being sold for right now, including it was just sold today for this price, so it's a very liquid price?
Let's say, what was it? It was 1,500 you said before?
1,500 when we talked about it maybe 2 months ago.
I'm going to say 29,500.
That's very fucking close. 30,000.
Ooh, that was very fucking close.
$30,000 per piece. And again, this is a very liquid price. Like if you price it as 30,000, there's a good chance it'll go in the next 20.
Because like art is also interesting because I mean there are people who will buy it in this because it's expensive and it's a collector's item, but there are people who would buy it because it's expensive, it's a collector's item, and they like it.
I think with crypto and NFTs and the crypto art market, you're going to see a revolution of people investing in art. I mean, before art was kind of typically a rich person's hobby, right? And you had to do all these things to make sure that the art you were buying was legitimate and the art you were buying is safely kept in a vault where it can't get ruined or damaged. Crypto and the blockchain kind of replaces all of that, which is it's verifiable, so you know it's legit. There aren't any copies of it, and there's no storage, so it can't get destroyed. Right, and you don't have to pay for shipping or anything like that. So it literally streamlines the entire process. You're going to see a lot of people invest in art as a financial asset. It's going to be, I think, in a lot of people's portfolios going forward.
Speaking of NFTs and crypto, we are actually we're a top site online when it comes to getting information out to people about Zedrun.
Thanks to me.
Yes, thanks to you. Your articles that we trend all the time. We have lots of articles on beginners guides and how to buy your first horse and what tools to use like for the most accurate and best time on the Zedrun site. We're actually going to have a new piece coming out sometime this month about hardware wallets and the effect that's going to have on the game. So keep an eye out for that. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we're out of here?
I think that's it. Again, Dune, very good. 7.3 out of 10. If you haven't seen it yet and you're listening to this, well, sorry, we spoiled some of it, but go watch it.
Do you know what movie actually we should agree to watch before next episode?
Ad Astra.
Grapefruit.
When you grapefruit your
Yeah, that got me. That got me, actually. Good job. That got me.
Every time I come around your city,